Hello, welcome to this new video for you. In this video we are going to study the closing operation as a morphological image processing operation. Very common. We are going to see that this operation is very similar to the opening that we have previously studied from the previous videos. So just let's prepare to analyze also to another exercise from Matlab, in which you are going to realize that if there is anything to be worried about, especially because we have already built the two basic functions, which are dilation and erosion. As you probably expected, closing operation is defined by a dilation followed by an erosion. So we have here first the dilation, in which we are using the object A and the structural element B, and later we perform an erosion. So we have this in contrast with the opening that we saw in the previous video. We can notice we have always here the same structural element for both operations. So we have the same example, the same object A, in which is going to pass through two processes. First we perform a dilation. We have here the output. Okay, we can notice how this image, this object, is bigger than the original one. We just recap that we are using a structural element. We are using a ball which is running in this image, and we have this as the dilation result. Later we perform the erosion operation, in which we reduce this image. We reduce the image using the common definition of erosion, and this is the final result. Okay, so let's analyze which are the main properties, the main characteristics we can appreciate in this operation. First, we can ensure that this operation smoothes the contour of objects. Okay, the contours are smooth also in this operation because of the inherent procedure that took place in this operation using the structural element. So in contrast with the opening, we can in this operation, in closing, this operation joins thin separations. As you probably remember from the last video, opening used to separate thin separation. In this case, closing joins thin separations. Okay, in that ways, when we have separations are smaller than the structural elements, this operation takes place. So another point I just want to highlight in this image is that closing fills smaller gaps than the structural element. So in this image, you can appreciate that this image is very similar to this image over here. So probably the most different is that we have here these gaps that were filled. This gap was filled after the closing operation. Okay, because the structural element is bigger than these gaps. And because of that, we can feel this. It's going to happen. The same operation, the same idea. If we have holes over the image, over the object, if we have holes, this hole would be filled if we use a structural element bigger than these holes. So on that way, we can finally appreciate from this example and mathematical point of view how closing operation occurs in morphological image processing. Well, in this slide we are going just to remember the exercise. We are just going to use the two images we have been using through the last previous videos. And in this case, we are going to program in Matlab a closing operation, and we are just also to make a comparison at the end with the inbuilt Matlab function. Okay, just let's get into Matlab right now. Well, here in Matlab, we have the same structure that we have seen of the code exactly from the previous video. Just in this case, we have two new lines in which we are using the mClose function. Is the implemented function that performs the closing operation, and we have the inbuilt function from Matlab, which is imClose. Okay, so this function receive as a parameters the image and the structural element, in which we have the same two images we have been using before. Okay, so now let's run this code and see what's going to happen. Okay, this is what we have. We have we have here the original image. We have in this feature, in feature 2, the structural element, and we have the output of the image here. We have the feature 3 and the feature 4. As we can see, we have the same output also for the inbuilt function from Matlab and from the implemented function. Okay, so let's see what is inside the implemented function. Okay, as you probably expected, we have the dilation first, and we have then the erosion function perform. Okay, we are just using the two functions we designed later in our videos, the dilation function and the erosion function, in which you can see. Just keep in mind the structural element must be the same structural element for each operation when we want to perform closing and opening a morphological operation. So I just want to show you at the end. I want to show you this is the original image, and we have here the result of closing operation. Okay, I just want to highlight how these gaps over here was filled by the structural element. As we can see, if we realize, we have almost the same image. The only difference is that we have more pixel, a 1 pixel here, that is we have a gap here, and this gap is filled with a new pixel here, thanks to the structural element, in which if this structural element were bigger, probably we would have seen this other gap filled also. Okay, so it's a kind of a trade-off when you want to perform experiments in morphological image experiments. Well, I hope this video, I hope you like this video. I hope to see you in the next video, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you always have time for doing that. Any question you may have, comments, you are always welcome. Okay, bye bye.